Good evening, welcome to the regular meeting, October 2nd, 2025 of the Dry Creek Joint Elementary School District. Let the record reflect that all board members are present. At this time, we will open for public comment on closed session agenda items.
We have none.
We have none. Hearing none, we will close public comment and adjourn to closed session. and we're reconvening for the October 2nd, 2025 regular board meeting of the Dry Creek Joint Elementary School District. Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have nothing to report from closed session. Do you have any public comments not on the agenda?
Yes, we have 7 this evening.
7, okay. With no objection, I'd like to allow 3 minutes for each one of the comments. And real quick, each individual speaker shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board understands that the First Amendment provides strong protection for speech. However, the board expects that all speech and expression will comport with norms of civil behavior while on district grounds and in the use of district electronics and platforms. Civil behavior is polite, courteous, and respectful to others.
The first will be Susan Franklin.
Welcome, Susan.
Thank you.
So I'm here to speak on behalf of all the children that many times don't have a voice. Our precious children don't need teachers in the classroom that are there for the sole purpose of indoctrination or to push their own political agendas on them. With that being said, I'm not sure at this point what has been decided for the Silverado Middle School teacher that posted on his social media after Charlie Kirk's death. And I'm quoting what he wrote, so I hope it's gonna be all right to say it. One less piece of in the world today. Remember, kids, a Nazi does not deserve your sympathy. R-I-H, and then in parentheses, he put rot in hell, Charlie. So this is spewing hate, in my opinion. His online behavior is as important as his classroom behavior. This is hate speech. This hate speech is a good example of proper behavior, is it? Teachers are supposed to be mentors and need to be accountable for what is said in and outside of the classroom. And every school district, and I would assume this school district, has a morals and standards of acceptable behavior clause that they're in their contracts that every teacher should have signed. And I would think that a teacher would be terminated if their private actions or posts on social media violated that contract. Because actions do have consequences. And for the sake of the Dry Creek School District and all the children in it, I would hope the board would see to it that they protect these students at all costs. And then I have a quote from actually Charlie Kirk. And he said, education should focus on teaching students how to think, not what to think. And I think there are no truer words ever spoken than that. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan.
Next is Ross Miller.
Good evening, Ross. Welcome.
Good evening, thank you. I'd like to thank the board for allowing me to speak. That's not good. All 3 of my children are older than 90% of the people in this room. So I don't have a dog in this fight. But I am, however, a Christian and a veteran of the 1960s. And I can assure you I'm not a Nazi, as Mr. So-and-so presumes. To put this in perspective, was born 7 months and 2 days after Pearl Harbor, when this country was full of patriotic Charlie Kirks. I don't know where they went. The words of this man's, out of this man's mouth were absolute hate speech. He is not educating your children, he's indoctrinating them. His words were reprehensible, and his anti-Christian words of hate. This man is entitled to his opinions and his beliefs, but he's not entitled to spew those words and beliefs onto your children. I have to wonder, how does a 38-year-old wife and mother answer her 3-year-old daughter's question of when's daddy coming home? If you parents in this room and you board members allow this man to continue to indoctrinate your children with hatred, then you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. May God bless America.
Dax Roberts.
Welcome, Zach. Thanks for coming.
It's Dax, but thank you.
Dax.
So I'm a past Silverado student. I'm currently in college. I was involved in a club that Mr. Rosticki hosted. I can't remember the name of the club. I tried super hard. I looked at the directory on the website, can't seem to find it. I do remember, however, that the title of the club was very misleading. I think it had something to do with social issues. I only joined for 2 meetings, and all he talked about was his liberal ideology. He was pushing that ideology on the kids and was kind of bouncing off everyone. I wasn't really for it, so I left. This is post-COVID, around like 2018, 2019. Around that time, they also implemented a Pride Week into Silverado, which I wasn't for. And I think that his ideology and the things he tries to push is very divisive. I think he's a very divisive teacher. And I think that he personally gets a very sick joy out of his actions. I think that his ideology has no home in a school, especially a middle school. We're talking about 11 to 14-year-olds. I think 11 to 14-year-olds have a lot more things to worry about rather than how many pride flags they're gonna wear on Pride Week. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dak. Appreciate it.
Adam Roberts.
Welcome, Adam.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
I'd like to thank the board. My name is Adam Roberts. My son just spoke. About 7 years ago, he was a student at Silverado. He's long out of school now, but we pulled him out of school during the Pride Week that was headed up by Mr. Rosticki. And I want to reiterate what that week caused. It caused a hostile learning environment, the worst learning experience in my son's school career. Because you give kids that age, any kids really, a pride flag to wear. They go in class, my son doesn't want to wear one, and some other kid doesn't want to wear one. You got other kids saying they're a homophobe. So rather than focusing on a healthy learning environment in the classroom, you got kids pitted against each other, families pitted against each other. It had no place at a middle school. Now, that was my experience with this individual, and I have since read his Facebook post. You guys all know what it says, I don't need to repeat it. But I want to reiterate that he addresses remember kids. And I don't doubt that this sick individual thinks that he's friends with kids. Teachers should never be friends with kids on a social level. It's not appropriate. So he's addressing kids, spewing this nonsense. It's completely inappropriate, it's divisive, it divides families, it makes an unhealthy learning environment. So yeah, I think you should fire him, I really do. And if you don't, when political debate resorts to violence, this country has reached a new level of darkness that we cannot recover from, and it worries me. So I really hope that you make the wise decision here. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Libby Slider.
Hello, my name's Libby and my son, thank you. My son is in Mr. Rossi's 7th grade class. I'm here to echo the things that have been said so far. My concerns are the hate speech, the fact that he is addressing the children is number one on my list. It begs the question to me, is he friends with with these kids on his personal Facebook account? Is he still, these things I'm hoping are being investigated? If so, that is the most inappropriate thing I've ever heard. Endorsing, celebrating, encouraging, this type of violent murder, totally inappropriate. We want our child to continue at Silverado. We've had a wonderful experience, excellent teachers, we're so pleased. But this type of just speech and environment is very worrisome to us, especially in light of him teaching social studies. We need to learn about history. We want to learn about all of these things and how they've affected our world. Please do not interject your personal beliefs, framing it in a way that it is something to be taught from a book. The crossover there is very dangerous, and I hope that you all see that. I hope that we're considering that yes, differences of opinions are fine, free speech, absolutely. We want to foster those things, but by endorsing, encouraging this type of violence, especially in the setting that we are in with school shootings, it's worrisome, right? So I just urgently ask for your support in not bringing this man back into the school. I also want to ask about what the code of conduct is for social media, for relationships with students outside of school hours. I think this is important for us to know as well, so thank you.
Thank you, Libby.
Next is Carolyn Brown.
Welcome, Carolyn. Thanks for coming.
Good evening. I'm outraged and deeply disappointed in the district's decision to place a teacher on administrative leave because of a personal social media post. More importantly, I'm outraged, as are many teachers in this district, that a member of this board would release the residency location of the staff member in an online forum. This post was made on personal time, expressed a personal political opinion, and did not reference the district, a school site, or the teacher's role as an educator. In other words, it is clearly protected speech under the First Amendment. Punishment is not only wrong, it's unlawful. What is more troubling is that this teacher is now being harassed and doxxed for his personal beliefs. And instead of standing firmly by your employee, this district has rewarded the harassment by removing him from his classroom. This action emboldens those who seek to intimidate staff for their personal beliefs and sends the chilling message that educators' private lives are subject to policing by online mobs. I also want to make it clear that this is not an isolated incident. I personally experienced harassment and doxing from the same politically motivated group, who have repeatedly expressed their distrust of the public school system, teachers, and teachers' unions. In my case, their relentless targeting had nothing to do with my work as a teacher, but rather my personal beliefs. The systematic harassment forced me to leave the classroom after 10 years of teaching and even retain restraining orders to protect myself and my family. By placing this teacher on leave, the district is setting a dangerous precedent for its staff. You are signaling that outside agitators can dictate personnel decisions through intimidation and harassment, creating an unsafe and unsustainable environment for every educator in this district. Political and religious beliefs are expressed on all sides. If staff are to be punished whenever someone disagrees with their personal views, no employee will be safe. The district's duty is to uphold constitutional rights, protect its staff, and not cave to politically motivated attacks. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Last is Chris Kenton.
Welcome, Chris. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us. That's a tough speech to follow, and I have to say, in many truths, I agree with that woman for her coming up and expressing that point of view. Although I'm very passionately against it, that's what makes this nation so beautiful, that we have these abilities to speak our mind. And like our president said a while back, you may recall this, there's good people on both sides. And now we're on this side looking at someone, this person must have been good in some respects, you wouldn't have hired him. He must be doing some sort of job, or you would have eliminated him through all the processes you had, but he made it this far. I violently object in speech to what was said. But I can tolerate that. But like some of our other speakers here tonight mentioned, that he was speaking to our children, kids, and he prefaced that. And because he spoke as an educator representing the teaching credentials that he has in his position, that's where the discipline comes in mind. And I'm all against punitive. We're not here to punish anyone. We're here to bring correction. We want to correct this. This is all hard on all of us. We're about to lose a very good employee for whatever reasons. We may agree or disagree. We need this balance. But we have to correct the issue. And I don't see, speaking for we the people, as a person of the people, I don't see any pathway in continuing to allow this person to teach here in our school system. Jesus Christ says, I prefer mercy, not sacrifice. Maybe you can find a position for him where he's not working with children, maybe in janitorial or food services to keep his pension alive till he finds a more suitable career and doesn't crush his family. I imagine that he's already in hell enough than all the badgering that we have to give him in our points of view. And he's a human being just like us, although we have rage. And the rage he talks about is transferred to us. So anyway, I just want you to think about not punitive, but correction. And I would hope that you would consider many of the voices here tonight and a lot of the so-called harassment or people that are trying to weigh in. We just want this to stop and we want it to change. And if you as our board can find a way to make corrective action and clear this issue, that would be beautiful, but I don't see it. And I appreciate you placing him on administrative leave and removing him from the situation to protect him and to protect our children and protect this cancer that showed up. It's like a tumor that you remove. Now you've got to examine it and say, is the whole body contaminated or is it just individual? Well, I'd say it's cancerous because of the use of the word kids and the way that he tried to spread the message that hate. He's more than welcome to have hate. In fact, I'm actually quite proud of him to have the bravery to touch that third rail and announce himself and his intentions. Because if I was watching the same news that he was, and if I was listening to the same podcast he was, maybe I'd be saying the same things. So anyway, let's have a little mercy, let's do the right thing and make sure that this person doesn't return back to school to teach our children, because we're gonna have more problems and more tumors. Thank you.
Are there any more comments? No more comments? Okay. Let's move on with the agenda. We're gonna go to comments from the board and executive leadership, actually. So we're gonna start with Sarah.
Good evening, I'm giving my comment time to Cliff tonight.
Jim?
I do not have a report tonight, thank you.
And I'm sure Christie has some comments.
I do not have anything tonight.
Okay. And we're gonna go this way around the board here. Ryan?
Well, thank you all for being out here tonight. Hopefully you guys had some wet, happy students at your schools today. My kids were both thrilled that it was pouring the rain when we dropped them off this morning. And just thank you for your hard work and navigating all the things that the year throws at us. So I know probably the shine's starting to wear off now in the year, and it's gonna be a kind of a dig deep time to get to Christmas break, but keep up the good work, and thank you all, administrators out there, especially for the good work that you do and everybody in the room. So we're out of the dock, we're sailing along, and hopefully it'll be a great fall for everybody.
Just
Just want to extend my appreciation to the awesome staff at Silverado. Know you guys have had a lot of storms over the last year. With this issue, and please forgive me, your office person, losing your office person earlier this year, some of the interesting activities engaged in by some of the students, and just, you guys have been hammered and you guys have weathered each of those storms very well. Thank you for taking care of my daughter and her friends and all of those kids and doing such a magnificent job. To the parents, those who wrote in, I read every email I got. I even got the blessed opportunity to meet with a few of you and hear your concerns. Thank you for expressing those concerns to me and, you know, hearing me out and I hear you out. This is discourse and this is what it should be about. Everyone gets a voice and everyone gets to express their ideas in peace. So let's continue that and let's keep making this district great.
I have no comment tonight.
Tracy.
I have a few things that I just wanted to report out about that happened in September in terms of my being on the school board and my responsibilities as a school board member. So I was able to attend the Placer County Community Leaders Breakfast, which was very informative. Placer County shared their initiative, Placer County Reads. And so they'll be reaching out to schools as well as libraries and the whole entire community to address reading and having community forums and community places where we can all learn more about how we're ensuring that our students are learning to read, and that's why we're here at school in public schools. So the breakfast was great. They had a couple different flyers and I shared those with my colleagues. They had a stack of children's literature books that the students will be receiving. So I'm just very excited about it as a previous teacher. And I'm anxious to see, or excited to see, how our district will participate as well in an initiative that's really focused on our students and how they can be successful in reading. I also was able to attend the staff development day, and a shout out to Desiree for her planning and organization that went with that. The classified staff members were engaged. The speaker was getting everyone involved, and there were some really great workshop sessions that went after that. Kudos to Shay for designing a staff development day that really probably met the heart of teachers. They had time to do their planning, they're working together in collaborative groups, and they were setting out, you know, their objectives and their goals for the year. And that time is very hard and it's to come by, and it's very valuable for teachers to have that uninterrupted time. I did not interrupt any of those meetings because I know how important they are, and the minute someone walks in the room, it kind of disrupts everyone. But I did go on a couple campuses and it was silent as a mouse because she knew our teachers were engaged and they were learning. So thank you to staff for doing that. And then on a fun note, I also got to see Antelope Crossing flag football game and a Silverado flag football game. So kudos to our middle school staff that is out there. My goodness, I can't tell you how many hours a day making sure that our students are learning and also participating in engagement activities. Just also I wanted to give a shout out as well I missed, I think at the last meeting, to acknowledge the schools that received the Positive Behavior Intervention Support Awards. That's a huge endeavor to take as a school, to submit for some type of recognition for those programs, and we all know that they bring positive and safe impact to our schools. So I wanted to, come back around and make sure that we said something to those schools that really received that recognition, and kudos to them. Also, we had a staff member, Vanessa Bridgman, who I believe was at a Placer County Office of Education event as a speaker, so kudos to having our staff members step out and recognize and be celebrated as leaders in the community. And finally, we're ending our attendance month awareness. And that was a lot of fun. We saw lots of posts and things with students. So my question is, I will be curious to know at the end of the year what impact the student, the attendance awareness push and all of this great focus that we had on it. Was there an impact for our students? Because I always want to come back to our students learning, our students at school. So that was just my thinking about that. How successful was that month to really focus on attendance? And do we have an increase that? Did we set school-wide goals, individual goals, district goals to look at attendance? So that was it. Just wanted to make a few notes about things that I've been out and about doing.
Great, Tracy, thank you. I just want to thank everybody for coming and expressing themselves, and that's the democratic process. I want to thank everybody who wrote in letters and to myself and the superintendent, and they were all read and noted, and that's about all I can say about that. And anyway, let's go on to Cliff.
All right, thanks, John. I was gonna also touch on some of the stuff that Dr. Balcom did, so she saved me the time, which is great. I'm glad you were at some of those events, and I'm still gonna throw out some shout outs to a few people, but we did close September, our Attendance Awareness Month, and now we're on to Bullying Prevention Month. So if you haven't seen our videos that our communications staff have been putting out, we have a series of, I think, 5 or 6 videos that we're showing kids, basically trying to educate them on what bullying is, not so they can do it, but so that they can recognize it, they realize the negative effects that it has on others, and what they should do if they see it. So it's a great campaign that we're working on this month. Today is also National Custodian Recognition Day, so it just happens to be today. So there's 2 videos up on Instagram highlighting some of our great custodians throughout the district. And if you've been to a school site, if you've ever been and seen the custodians, I think maybe your typical stereotype of what a custodian is not what you're gonna see at our school site. So our custodians interact with our kids, especially at meal times. They love that student time, and they know the kids really well. A lot of them have student helpers, and we're highlighting a few of them on our Instagram, so I'd put in a plug for you to watch those. As Renee said, the videos were super cute, so I guess I'll use that same phrasing. Tracy mentioned it, we did have staff development on September 15th, both certificate and classified, and we had a great guest speaker, forgot his name. Otis Amy, so someone local, a local kid, Bay Area kid who went to Sac State, played for the 49ers, and he's turned that into a motivational speaker type of career. And he had a great story about his upbringing and inspiring our staff to do the best that they can in the roles that they have. And he has a great story about the very first time he ended up on the field for the 49ers. He wasn't supposed to play, he was like the 5th receiver, wasn't expecting to play, and then he ended up returning a punt and ended up taking it all the way to the house the very first time he touched the ball for the 49ers. So great story, he was very inspiring, so just appreciate Des and her team and everyone who helped put that together. The certificated staff, again, shout out to Shay and their instructional coaches who put that together as well on that same day. I wanted to give everyone an update. So the board approved a couple meetings ago a contract for for our executive leadership team here, along with the board, to participate in governance and leadership coaching. And we're in full swing in that. We have a special board meeting coming up at the end of the month. We're gonna get together and kind of bring that all to a focus. But we've all been participating in that and having our own individual coaching sessions, and I've been benefiting from it, and I'm really excited to see the fruits from all that work as we move forward. I'm also participating in the Association of California School Administrators, also known as ACSA. They have a new superintendent seminar series that I started. I signed up for it in the summer, but it just started a couple weeks ago. So myself, along with 20 other brand new superintendents throughout the state, I'll meet up in Sacramento for 2 days. So we have a few of those sessions throughout the year. I was the lucky one that just had to drive there and got to go home and sleep in my own bed. So everyone else was traveling from somewhere else and staying over, but I just got to go home. But learned some great things, so I'm looking forward to learning more about my role this year. The board and I are scheduling one-on-one kind of monthly check-ins going forward. And then we have a lot of things going on this month, so a lot of our schools have been doing their kind of family picnic days. Some have already done them, some are coming up this month. So just a huge shout out. That's one of those wonderful kind of cultural things you don't see everywhere. But it's a great opportunity to come to the school, and if you can, if you can get off work just for a little bit to come down. I know it's special for the kids. When my daughter, my youngest, had that was her day to try to hit us up for some Chipotle. So turns out everyone in town also wanted that same lunch, and Chipotle didn't open before like a certain time, so we never got a Chipotle, but it was a great experience. So encourage you to participate in that. We have a STEM fair coming up this month at Bear Ranch, actually tomorrow. Olive Grove has a Star Struck showcase later in the month. Antelope Meadows has a family reading night, and then at the end of the month, we finish out with parent-teacher conferences. So a lot going on. We're in the full swing of things. Feels like we just started, but we're already in October. So that's my report. And just kudos everyone, and look forward to moving forward.
Thanks, Cliff. Okay, moving on, we go to the consent agenda. Would any trustee care to pull an item from the consent agenda for individual consideration? Hearing none?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda for October 2nd.
Second. Motion by Ryan, second by Jason to approve the consent agenda. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. On to 7.1 is an action item about minutes and amendment for the August 14th, 2025 board meeting. Go ahead.
So we just noticed for the August meeting, there were actually 2 public comments, and on the original minutes, we hadn't noted that. So once we realized our mistake, we amended the minutes, so they're here for your approval. Again, everything else remains unchanged, we just added that.
Okay. So amend minutes. Any comments? Hearing none?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes amendment from August 14th, 2025's board meeting.
Motion by Jean, second by Tracy to approve the 7.1 action item on the minutes amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Going to action item 7.2, it's an annual and 5-year developer fee report submitted by Christina Blandford, our Chief Business Officer.
Thank you. This item comes every year. We're required to bring it. The 5-year typically only comes once every 5 years, but this Dry Creek has for a number of years brought them both annually. So we're gonna continue to do that. This really is just an update of what we collected in our developer fees through mitigation agreements and or individuals. And we collected almost $1.1 million, and we had just under $300,000 worth of interest in that fund. In last year's report, the expenditures that you heard about were the planning phase piece of the expansion for Antelope Crossing and Olive Grove. So this year, those expenses are in your report. $2.3 million for Animal Crossing, and that project didn't complete until 25-26. So you'll hear about it again next year when I bring this item back to you to finish out that project, so it's stringing along a little bit. Olive Grove was just under $1 million this year, and again, that one finished just before school started, so you'll see it on the 25-26 report. We have an ending fund balance of $1.9 million in that account at this time. And then the last piece is the 5-year, just kind of gives the update of what those funds will be used for and what we think is coming. So again, you'll see Olive Grove and Animal Crossing. And then we also have plans for the Creekview expansion, so we'll be holding on to those dollars in efforts to move that forward. So at this time, I request that the board approve the plan, or the 5-year report and the annual development review.
Okay, can we pull up that report on the screen? Is there a way to pull up that the last page 3 of the attachment?
I'm sorry, you want to pull
Okay,
up
so
the
here's the
specific-
question. I see something that says West Placer Elementary, 42 million, provide facilities for student population. Explain, what is that item?
So the West Placer Elementary refers to the property that we have on Vineyard and Crowder for a future school that we may or may not ever need to build. And so it's on there as kind of a placeholder.
Okay.
Just to
that's
remind
fine.
everyone that we still have that, we still may need that, it's way out in the future.
And it might not be called West Placer, we'll have to.
It's just something that we've named it as a placeholder.
Okay, thank you very much, okay.
Where's the
Any other
property again?
It's off of Vineyard and Crowder, it's about 12 acres,
It's prime property.
Drive by it all the time.
that's why we're holding on to it.
Any questions, comments on this item? Hearing none?
I'll make a motion to approve item 7.2.
I'll second. We have a motion from Jason, second from John, to approve the annual 5-year development fee reports. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. And now we have an information item on, from Jen Ferguson, our assistant superintendent.
Yes, thank you. Tonight I'm bringing you negotiation reopeners for the Dry Creek Teachers Association regarding opening the leaves article, Article 18. You may recall back in the fall of '24, the district and DCTA agreed on a 2-year labor agreement. Part of that agreement was that in the 25-26 school year, each party could open up additional articles. The Teachers Association has decided to open up the leaves article. That's attached to the annotation for your review. The district is not opening an article, so therefore, even though we're settled with compensation, they still want to discuss this leaves article and provisions in it. And the district is agreeable to sit at the table and negotiate with whatever their proposals may be.
Sounds
So
good.
I'm asking for the board to open this up for public comment, and then after public comment, we would then be authorized to engage in negotiations.
Okay, we're now open for public comment on item 8.1. Any public comments?
We have none.
Hearing none, public comment is closed.
Thank you.
We're moving forward? We okay to move forward now?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna go to policy review, which is on item 9.1. Any trustees not ready to take action on these policies? Hearing none, I will make a motion to approve the policies listed in item 9.
I'll second.
Motion by John, second by Jean, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. And we're moving on to future agenda items.
Nope, I'm going to.
So technically we have 9.1 and 9.2, so we just need to separate those.
Okay, yeah, so anybody, I blended them together. Anybody want to have further discussion or hold back item 9.2? Okay, hearing none,
move to waive the, what are we doing? Approve, thank you, brain freeze, item 9.2.
I'll second, motion by Jason, second by John to approve item 9.2. All in favor? Opposed? No. Opposed? None. Sorry. 5-0 there. Got a little off track there. Okay, future agenda items. I see one item for SARC, CAA, SSP, and district assessment data.
So there's two items, but, so just, these are things that are coming up in the future. So the school accountability report cards, the SARCs, is an annual thing you'll see. And then the CASP and district assessment data, so this is from the spring testing last year. We had some initial raw data, but the state then puts that together and eventually puts that in the dashboard. So those are things that you'll be seeing coming up in the next couple of meetings.
Great. Any trustees have any comments about anything? You'd like to talk about future agenda items? Okay.
No, I'm just looking forward to learning more about the assessment data because that's really what drives our classrooms and our teaching and instruction. So
Yeah.
I know I contacted Cliff earlier and requested, when are we gonna hear that? When are we gonna hear that? So I'm looking forward to it.
I would just like to point out that our next meeting is on November 6th, and that is my son's 18th birthday. And I guess I'll be here.
Great. Well, okay, we can talk about that.
Rainey is gonna be an adult.
That is true. Our next scheduled meeting is November 6th, 2025. Hearing no other comments, I look forward to seeing everybody then. Meeting is adjourned.